Bob, just give me your initial thoughts here on this great legend who has moved on.
You know, as Mark said, younger generations of fans might not truly appreciate what a great player he was. Three-time MVP, hit a lot of home runs at a time when not that many catchers did it. Was not only terrific defensively, had a very long, I don't know the exact number, but very long streak of errorless games that spread over a couple of seasons. But more than that, every single pitcher who ever threw to him said he was a superior receiver with a great understanding of the hitters and how to work with a pitcher. And yet, as you guys also noted, he remained and maybe became an even bigger cultural icon after he stopped playing. It's more than half a century since he played his last game, and yet he's among just a handful of players who played at that time or before that a 15 or 20-year-old kid would instantly recognize and at least know something about. So he's been part of the American scene, I guess, for pretty close to 70 years.
Bob, how did he become such a phenomenon?
Well, in addition to being a great player on a great and high-profile team, he was just so genuinely lovable. And sometimes people have a lovable public personality and they aren't the same way necessarily in person. This was the sweetest, kindest, most gentle, humble, warm-hearted man you could ever come across. I never found him in a foul mood ever. He was just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And then there were these amazing statements that he made. I'm sure that at his own funeral service in the next few days, someone will cite one of Yogi's most famous statements, which was, always go to your friends' funerals. Otherwise, they won't go to yours.
I love that one, Bob. There were those who saw him play, Bob, and those who heard about him playing. Your thoughts on him connecting generations of baseball fans by truly just being him?
Yeah, and there were entire collections of his thoughts and sayings. There's a thin book, but when you think about it, if it's 150 pages just filled with things that one guy said, I think he shows up in Bartlett's book of famous quotations along with the likes of Churchill and Socrates a handful of times. I think that's really what did it, and he was such a lovable character. He was in the commercials, the Affleck commercials until recently. That's where he said they give you cash, which is as good as money. You know, that kind of thing. And then Billy Crystal brought him back to life in the movie, or he was still with us, but brought him back onto the kind of cultural prominence in the movie 61. And the character who played Yogi used one of his lines in referring to Mickey Mantle. He's as good left-handed as right-handed. The guy's amphibious.
Bob, so many unbelievable memories, obviously, on the field, but that perfect game that he caught from Don Larson in the 1956 World Series, I mean, that has to rank right up there with the unbelievable achievements for Yogi.
Yeah, at a time when players were less demonstrative, you know, he ran out to the mound, and he was the guy who jumped into Larson's arms rather than the other way around after the called third strike to Dale Mitchell. I guess another famous scene involving Yogi is Jackie Robinson stealing home in the World Series and Yogi jumping up and down in protest. And Yogi contended right to the very end, as much as he liked Jackie, no question, he was out. There was no instant replay then, and it was so close it might have been hard to tell anyway. But no question he was out, I guess, in Yogi's mind. And I guess another iconic image would be the number 8 of Yogi playing left field rather than catcher, watching Bill Mazeroski's home run that ended the 1960 World Series disappear over the ivy-covered left field wall at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh.
All right, the great Bob Costas is joining us. Bob, thank you very much for spending some time in recounting some of the great stories of Yogi Berra.
Thanks a lot. Sad day, but a wonderful life.